Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Upset City, the NRL Round 4. 4 rounds in 1 month in the books of the greatest sport on earth.
Well, you know what?
The Back Yourself podcast is here to preview all the shit that's upcoming. How are you, my boy?
You know what?
Welcome to the fucking
Upset City. Usually, this is what we've seen so far. All the favourites, all the underdogs, all the favourites, all the underdogs.
We're due.
So we're due underdogs.
Yes.
We're overdue, but I can't.
All right.
I can't get to. Literally, I looked at the round. I literally can't get to any of them outside of one.
That's the perfect round that
all of them are going to win.
Go and win. Yeah.
But there's no rationale for any of them.
What round have you gone in and be like, yeah, I can see 6 underdogs winning, and one of them winning at $12?
No.
Now you're going to do it.
Yeah, but like,
and think about it, right?
I've already found an underdog.
You're a very sports are all correlated, and if 5 favourites win, then an underdog is due. How many favourites won last round?
All 7.
Yeah. And what was the price of the underdog that won?
$2.10.
Yeah, bro.
Wow. Welcome to Upset City.
Welcome to Upset City. I already have the bold writing for the thumbnail ready to go. Upsets galore.
But
baby.
you know what is not going to be an upset?
You know who's
we don't even have to wait for their game to come up.
You know
Para give up.
Who's probably upset right now is the Manly fans. Shout out to all the Manly fans out there. I think we should take 2 quick minutes just to give our thoughts on this Daly Cherry Evans situation. He's walked in on, pointed at the Manly CEO, be like, I'm not fucking playing for you guys next year.
Well, they offered him not the right contract, apparently.
So that's a good starting point, right?
But this is going to be controversial, but I don't care. Manly did the right thing.
Okay.
Look, there's holding a player like Reynolds who's going to play another 5 years, and what South did, that was a mistake. Cherry Evans has got 2 years in him, max. Yes, he's an origin player, etc. But they've re-signed in the past year, and they will have to re-sign again. Lehigh, Hamoli, which wasn't cheap, Jake Trebojevic, which you're not going to let go, and Tom Trebojevic. And the backline isn't on peanuts. Maybe Collar, but I don't know. But Garrick isn't cheap. And I think to win, Brooks, he's getting paid. Maybe not to the level of what Tigers
Probably
were paying.
700
but he's still getting paid, right? So you are paying Cherry Evans. Are you going to win a comp in the next 2 years? I think this year, and like I said at the start of the year, is their best chance. Maybe not now with Paseka getting ruptured his Achilles, probably out for the whole season. But
stupidly,
yeah,
these guys are they're going to bring him back round 22.
I know. So that's what I'm saying. I think for the Manly fans, it's very upsetting to see Cherry Evans not in a Manly jersey. But even his twilight years are past him, and I still think he's an elite half, and he will be an elite half wherever he goes. But in terms of future for Manly, when they're going to fight for a comp again, is not going to be in the next 2 years, in my opinion. And I think.
Well, you had him in your top 4 though.
No, outside of this year.
So if they kept Cherry, you wouldn't have him in your top 4 next year because Cherry is 38 instead of 37?
Next year, right, Tigers are a lot better. Dogs are going to be fucking insane.
Let's not think forward, right?
No.
We do this and then comes again not being garbage.
I agree. But if you just think ahead, Manly has a timeline that is shortening every single year to win a comp, while Dogs, Tigers, Knights now they do Brown continues extending. So at some point you have to break and be like, you know what, we have to go get another half. Was it the right time? Maybe not in the middle of this fucking season or 4 rounds in, but I think it was the right decision.
Okay, I will say let's go based off your rationale, right? Are we acknowledging that Manly offered him 2 for 1.5?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that was the take. We could be wrong. The comments can tell us.
So you guys have already come out and been like, we're willing to keep you for another 2 years.
Yeah.
Does he say no if you offer him 2 for 2? 2 million for 2 years? Probably not.
Probably not.
So you cunts are bargaining with a 15-year veteran captain of the country and the club for an extra $250K a year that you cunts is just going to go pay some loser anyway.
Well, look, I get it that way, but that
either you think
$250,000.
Either you think this guy's 37 and his body's going to break down in the next 2 years, and you get out in front of him and be like, "Hey, we're not going to re-sign you," similar to what Souths did.
Yeah.
And then you don't come out and say, "Hey, no, we're actually giving him the second year for fucking $300K." Just come out, put your chest out, be like, hey, look, we love Daly, we'll die for him, but unfortunately, we don't want to pay 39-year-old. Having said that, at 37...
I'm gonna say the flip side. But anyway.
Who's a more reliable prospect in the next 2 years
that they can get?
Daly or Turbo?
Oh, in terms of injury free.
In terms of
Turbo, Daly. Yeah. I mean Daly. So Turbo gets injured every time.
You guys are gonna go pay Tommy 1.1, which Tommy misses half the year every year anyway, which is unfortunate. I'm not blaming Tommy, but how can you then run? Because now you cunts have set yourselves up that you have no Cherry Evans in the next 2 years. And what the fuck are you going to do when Tommy goes down next year?
Yeah, no.
You're going to run out Brooks and Lehigh.
Look, the other thing is the exact what you just said. The club is trying to skimp on his contract, right?
Which is just shit.
Okay, but the club went out and did the biggest contract ever for him. Yeah. Back in the days.
Yeah.
Deservedly. Yeah. We're not saying they did the wrong thing. But you can see in the NRL right now, Galvin hasn't been re-signed yet.
Yeah.
And he is the biggest prospect at the moment. These clubs are so... other than Knights
will throw money at anyone.
But these clubs are so restricting on how many years they give to players that back in the day, Daly Cherry Evans, you know what? We're keeping you forever, right? And it doesn't... both parties have to blame, I think, in my opinion.
Fair enough.
Okay, $250K, Manly, suck it up, you fucking pussies.
Come on.
On the other side, Daly, you're 37 years old, right? You've made enough money from Manly, one. Yeah. Two, you've brought them premierships, and they've been loyal to you the whole time. They've brought you bodies. They've brought you more players to actually play. They brought you fucking 5'8" most recently with Brooks. Homoli Olakuatu turned into some sort of god.
Yeah. I agree with you.
I'm kind of
I feel like the first bit that caused the bad thing between them is Daly's
why don't you just pay me?
I gave you 15 years, now you want to cry over 200.
Yeah, I get it, but
And there was also reports that they offered him 1 year extension with the second year being a club option of hey bro, what are you going to do? Have him for a year and then be hey, we're going to revoke your option, get the fuck out?
Yeah, no. I think all of that is garbage. Look, the 2 years, $750K. If I was Cherry Evans and you really wanted to stay there, yeah, because I can... Look, outside of me... Everyone that's listening to this doesn't have Manly winning the comp right now. So they do need more. They need something. It doesn't matter who they... If they paid 250 more, had to pay 250 more, that's 250,000 that couldn't go to someone else. And I know what you're saying. They're probably going to go out and sign garbage. Yeah. But what if they don't? What if they sign a forward that's actually useful and lines up with Paseka at the front? And then everyone's oh, well... Fucking Manly's pretty good, eh? So,
yeah, but then I can't think of one player they can sign that gives them a better chance to win than Cherry.
No, of course not.
That's kind of the rationale, bro.
Manly's in catch-22. We're not going to win a comp with him in the next 2 years, most likely anyway. No one else gives us a chance. Look, they could go on a hot run. Well, Turbo could go fucking nuts, but that might not happen.
I actually think that's more of a reason to keep him. Because all right,
yeah, but you're paying $1 million. Okay, the 250 out the window.
Let's say. We're saying they can't win with him, and they can't win without him,
of course.
All right, so you can't tell I'm going to win anyway. Why would you send out a club legend out in this what? We're going to go see this run out of Dolphins.
But that's why they offered the $750K.
Nah, just look.
Save $500,000 and maybe get someone else. Look, their front row is everyone's question mark. No one's going to question their back line. No one's going to question their spine. Their front row is the problem. You get an edge back row for Ben Trebojevic, nepotism boy, and you're well, these cunts aren't bad. And that's just the name of the game. If 250K, some of those players that are playing, Saab's getting more than 250K.
Probably not much more if he is.
Not much more if he is. Ben Trebojevic isn't. Aloye is getting paid.
The thing is, be getting peanuts. So the guy that's meant to be playing Lucky Crow.
Lucky Crow, they need more. And this was their answer for more, but they're fucked either way.
Yeah, they're fucked either way. It's just shit that we're going to see him run out.
A legend, of course, but Manly, in my opinion, made the right decision.
I feel at the end of the day, Daly was look, I gave you cunts 15 years of service, and now you want to not give me 2 years or $700K.
Understandable from Cherry's point of view. He's not he's already won. He's done his job in the league. He's proven what he's done. Manly are kind of thinking, look, one day Cherry's not going to be playing footy anymore. We have to think future-wise. We are going to give him a little bit less. So
I understand. Look, it's just It's a shame that you would want him to be like a one club man and everything. And
But I think like that has ignited Manly.
that will
They're really going to try this year.
I think that's a good talking point.
Yeah.
We'll
Get
discuss
to
that
it
further
with
when we
Para.
talk about Power of War.
Jesus.
Okay. Thursday night football, ladies and gentlemen.
Souths are playing.
Souths of War. The Red and Green Army bring Penrith to town at a course stadium.
They're bringing Penrith
And everyone's
down.
favourite segment is here, ins and outs, baby.
Well, actually, I'll do something for you. I haven't looked at anything, so I don't know who's in and out.
I'll give you live reactions. I will say it was a bit of a tame Tuesday team list. There wasn't that much going
There
on.
was one funny player.
But
that's
if you look hard enough, you'll always find a diamond in the rough. Alex Johnson makes his return from an Achilles injury that had him sidelined since round 21 of last year. Campbell Graham's dead, guys. So Isaiah Tass, young Tass goes to centre where he was actually much better than he was on the
better,
wing.
yeah.
And Johnson returns to the
It's
left
alright.
edge.
It's the same edge.
The $1 million left edge.
The $1 million left edge.
Him, White and Koloamatangi and
poachers,
Neil Dry
poachers, yeah.
On the other side, Trent Talau will be playing halfback for the Penrith Panthers
Oh, fuck me.
to take over from Nathan Cleary, who's in concussion protocol.
Wait.
Yeah, it's not Blaze and it's not Schneider either. I watched Trent Talau play in the Manly trial. He's pretty good.
Wait. Is Blaze playing fullback?
Blaze, hilariously, is on the bench again. So this guy can't get picked.
Me.
This guy can't get picked over anyone. So he couldn't get a go at fullback over Jenkins, and now he can't get a go at in the halves over.
Wait, they're literally running the worst spine ever.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that because we had just had a discussion off air of who's valued and who isn't. Dane Laurie has recovered from a quad injury and slots into fullback. Tom Jenkins moves to centre, and Paul Alamotti moves to the wing because Casey McLean is off to 18th man. So, Chrissy.
What the fuck's going on?
Penrith are running out a spine of Dane Laurie, Jack Cole, Trent Talau, and Mitch Kenny.
That fucking...
With Blaze on the
I can see. I didn't look at the... I can see. Take South and close your eyes.
So
Look,
for those of you
12 and a half.
that are looking at the spread, we're looking at South's $4 head-to-head and a spread of 10.5 points.
10, take it. It doesn't matter. I mean, I think Ivan's lost the plot.
Okay.
What the fuck's going on? Like...
Something's happening.
Okay. Step one. Blaze isn't good enough to play fullback. Sure. I think you've made it clear he's not a fullback. Anyway, he's your reserve fullback. He's nothing, apparently. He's not a fullback, ever. Okay, cool. Second point, he can't even play centre.
Oh, yeah, you can't. Yeah.
Well, last week, you had no centres. Round one, you started Ghana, which you won, fair enough. You have no centre. Then you've brought in this Trent Talau, which you've said he's played good.
He's decent.
Sure.
In trials, obviously.
Okay, fine. In trials, congratulations, bro. You've won a trial game. But is what Blaze did last week just out the fucking window? They were down 14-0.
Yep.
I mean, if Blaze was that awful, it would have been 50-0. And look, Melbourne made errors. Melbourne did their side of the ball, sure. But Blaze wasn't bad. Was he bad at 5'8"?
No, he looked okay.
He was fine. And, what the fuck's going on? Is he that awful?
There's something there.
There's something going on. Because, look, I've said it since, round 2. There is no reason they go sign him, and now they're starting fucking Jenkins, first of all. Don't worry about Cole. Don't worry about Talau. Don't worry about... Jenkins is on the field. Jenkins wasn't good last week at all.
I thought he was actually pretty good. For a no-name.
Yeah, for a no-name. It's not Blaze Talangi. Fuck me. Anyway... They have literally running out the worst spine. No dynamic offensive players at all. Talau's going to be kicking the ball 3 meters. Fucking take South and don't even think about it.
All right. This is where I'm going to go nuclear on these cunts. This has been the public's approach to betting Penrith games so far this season. Week 1, bro, Sharks might beat them. Don't lay 2.5. All right, they beat Sharks. Week 2, oh, bro. Take Penrith minus 24.5 against Roosters. They're going to smash them. Okay, all good. Roosters won. Oi, bro, don't take them plus 10.5 against Melbourne. They're going to lose 13 plus. With Cleary and all these other cons. And now they're probably thinking, did you see how good they played last week? Now take them minus 10.5 without Cleary or Edwards. Are you guys mentally ill? And I'm already accounting for the fact that Penrith might go out and cover 10 to South. It's South. They're capable of not covering fucking plus 10 to anybody on any given day. So I'm not saying Penrith are like, they're not a chance of covering 10.5. What I'm saying is, you fucks laid 24.5, then didn't take them plus 10, and now you want to lay 10 with nothing. So there's no like, how can you read a team this poorly? It really like pisses me off. Now on the south side
front.
Okay. They still have Liam Martin, Isaiah Yeo, Moses Leota, Lindsay Smith, Isaiah Papali'i.
Literally going to pepper the middle of the park.
There's a big discrepancy
And
in the middle of the
South
park, right? But we've seen Penrith last year in the Origin rounds. No Cleary, no Edwards, no Luai. Minus 12.5 to Cowboys.
Lost.
Had 1,000,000% possession and lost. Minus 12.5 to Dragons. Had 1,000,000% possession and lost. 2 years ago, played Tigers when Tigers were wooden spooners. Had 1,000,000% possession and lost. And truly, for all the shit that you give Penrith that they can't score, they literally can't score with this lineup.
Can't score.
Right? So now what begs the question is, can Souths not fuck it up themselves in their own art of allowing anybody to just walk into their try line?
They're due.
They're due. Like, they've been knocking on the door for weeks and weeks of, all right, like, we're going to concede 40 this round. But they just haven't. They haven't, right? And they didn't concede 40 in the heat to that Sharks team with no possession. So in my mind, I know I'm looking for consistency in an inconsistent sport, but how in God's name can you back Penrith at $1.25 and minus 11, knowing that if South score 12, like, do Penrith realistically have 24, 26 points in them? And that's assuming that Souths only scored 12, when Penrith have literally conceded 24 to everyone when they were full strength.
Yeah, well, it's just, they
You know?
have nothing.
Well,
I mean,
Penrith essentially have a good middle of the park and Tungo and To'o on the right side. That's it.
well,
Halves non-existent, fullback non-existent, and to your point, Blaze literally has lost the center role to Garner, has lost the fullback role to Jenkins, and has lost a 5'8" / role to now 4 different players. So that really, like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, what's Ivan doing? He's a dickhead. I'll defer to Ivan. He's seeing something from this guy that he's just not ready to be in there in any capacity. Wing, center, fullback, front row. He is just like, the best I'll give you is 14, and that's when we have nothing. So
wow.
there's something there that he's just not seeing.
This
it,
guy
right?
has a garage, bro. Bro, it doesn't look that bad.
Yeah, literally.
Like, I don't know.
To play devil's advocate, is it
South?
Is it scary to go against Penrith as a club? Because this is not Penrith. This is just black jerseys and nothing else, except the forward pack. Is it scary to go against them after 2 consecutive losses, which I can't remember how many times that's happened in the last 5 years? Yeah, sure.
Well, look.
But if South's going to do all this covering and then back down to this reserve grade spine, then I'm happy. I would much rather like
Watch
lose
South
on plus 10.5 and watch them get murdered by like if South lose by 20, then all this covering from them has just been nonsensical.
Yeah, well, look. I think like this one will be the true burn, and like if you're sitting there right now and trying to find out, agreeing with me what I said from day one that they're not going to make the 4. I would recommend taking it as of we speak. If you're leaning South, there's a potential they could win. And if they do win, Penrith will be 1-3, and this is 3 times on national TV that they've lost in a row. Everyone's going to be off them. You name it. And you might get Cowboys 10.5 next. I'm just letting you know. Like, the whole world is going to be off them come the end of this week if they do end up losing. So I think the 10 points is ridiculous, and my dad might be right. I might go to 8. I didn't realize Blaze wasn't there.
Yeah.
I think that's that's like the only dynamic like type of player they have on the field.
Yeah.
Other than that, they're just fucking running straight.
Yeah, literally.
And come on, South. Wayne. Yeah. This is not fucking Demetrio. Wayne should be able to identify these cunts suck ass outside of their forwards. Just fucking pack the middle of the park. Let them go wide. Go score. Go on.
Yeah, as opposed to what Melbourne was doing, just shooting out in the middle of the
park. But they
park.
might do that, but they do it more like make them want to throw the full ball. Melbourne were still playing the game of they can do 1 out, 1 out. South, look, this could be wrong, but Wayne literally could get 3 cunts to just charge at Cole or Talau. All right, bro, throw the cutout all the way to you gangster. If you're going to do that every time, all right, you guys are going to win.
I don't think their ball players have
and they're not going to be able to do that, so...
But then there's also will Souths just like concede to Liam Martin and
Will
Isaiah.
they
It's
concede the
possible
middle
from
of the
these
park?
guys.
Of course. Without Cam Murray, anything can
I
happen.
think Souths can win. This is ridiculous. You get $4. What the fuck would these guys be if Penrith was full strength?
7.
I think it will be bigger than the Roosters line.
Yeah. Well, these
26.
guys are just now with Cleary and Edwards, they must be like head and shoulders above fucking Sharks.
Yeah,
Just
they
prove
are.
it.
Yeah, they were.
Like it would be like 6.5.
Yeah.
They lost by 6 to them, so
Yeah, but that was like it was 2.5 without To'o and without all these other players.
So
right?
now that's gone out and they've lost 2 games.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
I normally there's probably two games around where I look at the spread and I'm like, holy shit, that's the spread. The Souths one, I was like, okay, bro, come on, 10.5 to that Penrith team, that's insane.
Yeah.
And the fact that Souths, it's no wonder these pricks keep covering. They're fucking priced to be dirt, which we'll see.
We'll get to.
Like you guys.
If they
list 13 plus, make sure you tune in for the review. I'll have a few words with these fuckwits, but
Come on, South.
I truly think they can win. This is ridiculous.
Come on, South.
All right, moving on to the first of the Friday night doubleheader. The Sydney Roosters, your Sydney Roosters, Christopher, take on my Gold Coast Titans, who are coming.
Why are
to
you
town.
claiming the?
Because they dismantled Knights for me last week.
Well,
Thank
Knights
you,
have a bye. That's a shit. Adam O'Brien's cooking.
This is when they come out and they can't score because I don't know what Adam O'Brien does with the bye. It's like you give a mental person too much time to think. It's never good. All right, Sydney Roosters. There's a team upcoming who are 1-17 every week. Roosters, there's always a change with these guys. Connor Watson, concussion protocol, is omitted from the team with Zach Docker-Clay moving into the starting side.
Oh my god.
You like this one. Veterans, Nat Butcher and Lindsay Collins have been named to return from injury on the bench. Makatoa drops to the reserves.
Aw.
On the Titan side of things, Jalen De Groot comes in for his second career game at fullback in the place of Keanu Kinney.
What happened to Kinney?
His neck is hurt from last round.
He scored too much.
Cam Pereira and big man Jalen Jolliffe remain sidelined.
Fair enough.
So we got a spread of 6.5 off the back of the Kinney news. Apparently Connor Watson's worthless, so he's worth nothing.
What Kinney's worth 2 points?
Yes.
In what capacity?
And that's just I'm just giving.
Oh, we're getting 6 again. Take Titans. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Look, 4, I was like, maybe. Who gives a shit about Kinney? Connor Watson's a bigger loss than Kinney is.
Shout out to Barnsey. That's exactly what he said.
What the fuck? 6.5. I'll take Titans. I mean, look, the first game, they got ambushed. You could argue, right? I still think Titans are dirt. But the first game, they literally got Belmore ambushed in the first 20 minutes, right? Since then, every game they've played good.
Yeah, well, they've only played one extra.
No. But what I'm saying is, the rest of outside of the ambush,
The last 140 minutes, they played pretty good. Yeah.
And like the David Fafita off the bench is really annoying because he comes on and throws
Scores some
5
garbage,
and scores some garbage. And the outside backs are always annoying, no matter who's there, right? And Tony Francis, he's shit, but it doesn't matter. Like whoever's there, they're always annoying. De Groot, is that his name? I think he played last year from memory.
He's
played one game. Look, he's fine. Like at the end of the day, Titans are a mismatch of idiots in the spine anyway.
Yeah.
Like my concern overall is Roosters delivering the same fucking performance as last week. And I know Titans can't defend, but even if they get 20 points, Titans are not going to score 14. Like it's their MO to go score. I mean, I'm giving Titans at least 20. If Roosters can go out there and score more than 26, all right, cool. Like I think like it seems like I didn't realize it's back out to 6. Take Titans.
No,
This is
Titans
ridiculous.
probably like 270 on the money line. This is actually implying that Roosters are
better than
much better than Titans. Not just better than them, much
they're
better.
not.
So, if this was in Gold Coast, Roosters would be favourite.
That's ridiculous.
From what I'm going off on the point
That's
spread, right?
ridiculous.
What's it worth? 4 points. And I know for a fact if they opened Titans in Gold Coast and gave them 2.5 points, it would close out a pick 'em or something.
Yeah.
Like, can't be like,
Everyone take the Titans.
Roosters suck anyway. You can't even beat Warriors. Let me take Titans. So I don't see why it's gone the other way. Kinney is not Billy Slater that you would put him out to 6.5, even after they lose Connor Watson, right? Like, Connor Watson's literally played Origin before, so that just fucking baffles
And
me.
it's Docker Clay.
And you're replacing him with Docker Clay, which devil's advocate, you're replacing him with De Groot. We'll see what he pulls off. Probably like not much, right? But are we at a position where I'd want to even fucking lay 6.5 with Roosters in a game that If I told you, Chris Titans won this 24-20, would you be shocked at all? No. So when you're taking points and it's anything under like 2 converted tries, you normally want to be like, okay, can I see the team that I'm taking the points with winning the game outright?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Can I see them losing by 4? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Titans. Can I see them being down by 14 and then scoring 2 garbage tries and losing by 2? Yeah, I can see that
It's
as well.
Titans.
So that 6.5, I think it might not come in handy at all, and Titans can win by 20. It might not come in handy at all, and Roosters can win by 20. But if they play this game 100 times, I truly think that it would land within 6, probably like 20 times.
Yeah. And the forward pack, like they got rep level on both sides. Like you can't really say Roosters pack is better than the Titans pack. It's 15 all.
Could you probably say that Titans back's better?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's Tad Townsend versus Brimson. The way Titans play, Brimson suits them. And Chad Townsend can't kick the ball
He's
anyway.
just out there for...
And I'm taking Campbell over Sandon Smith any day. Backline-wise, okay, Dom Young and Tupou have the advantage, height advantage. Centers-wise, I'm taking the Titans ones.
Well, they have Teddy and we have the group.
Yeah, that's the biggest swing, right?
Yeah.
But is he worth 6 points swing?
Nah, I don't think so.
Everywhere else is kind of comparable. It's just the
I
fullback.
agree. I agree.
6 points?
You put these guys minus 24, like plus 24 2 weeks ago. Now they're lengths almost 7. That's a lot, bro.
That's a lot, bro. And I can confirm it's not Jared Sutton because I know where he's reffing.
This is Grant Atkins, actually. So
Oh, God.
I was going to say...
I was going to put Grant Atkins under duress as a hilarious, that my under duress will be unders in whatever game Grant Atkins refs. Because I know he's going to go and eat his whistle and not call anything.
Well, that's good for Titans.
They don't suit unders at all. But neither do the Roosters.
Yes.
So, yeah, again, this is why I'm saying upsets galore. Because I could literally see, come 8 p.m. on Friday, Titans and fucking Souths have won for no reason.
All right. Just wait for the rest.
Moving on to the scumbags of the NRL. The Dolphins, Christian Wolf, the audacity of this son of a bitch.
It's 1-17.
He's running out 1-17 again. What a dickhead. Broncos, they're
Ready to kill someone. Katoni Staggs returns in the
center position, and Shibasaki has gone back to Japan.
Yeah, I'm good.
Wait, no, he hasn't.
No, he's starting. They've dropped Mariner, I heard.
What the fuck? They dropped Mariner.
I'll tell you,
He's not fast
he's
enough.
a shit center, bro. Get him to the
He's
week.
better than Shibasaki.
You can't
Come
drop
on.
Arthurs. So, Shibasaki's been playing guns.
He's not good.
Yeah, we know, but he's been
Wow,
playing good.
that's
and they
tough.
can't drop Arthurs. He keeps scoring.
Tough being in the Broncos 17. You fucking make 2 errors and your last name isn't Walsh. You get dropped, apparently. Okay, sorry, Mariner. He was literally their best outside back all of last year and they kept quitting. And now, Shibasaki's there.
Well, that match, mate.
All right, match. You fuck with.
All right, what is it, 14?
12.5. The Battle of Brisbane, essentially, is what they're calling it. So, in the fixture that, I'll remind you all, Dolphins in a win-and-get-in situation, well, almost, but took the heart out of the Brisbane Broncos.
Destroyed them.
What was it, 42-10 or something full-time, embarrassed them. We're in their faces about it as well. Do the Broncos have revenge on their mind, and can they cover, or essentially, can they win 13+ against this lifeless, useless piece of shit of a Dolphins team that have given up every round?
Are they going to annihilate someone soon? Yes. Is it Dolphins? It's hard to say it's going to be. But
You know what makes this difficult, Chris?
But they have Jared Sutton, and I don't want to go against him, so I'd lay the 12.
You would lay 12.5.
Jared Sutton's going to piss us off.
You know what makes this game very, very difficult to think about rationally? Dolphins, the whole season so far, all their games have been priced within a try.
Yeah.
Right? So every time we've backed them, it's been like, they're getting 4.5, or it's only a pick 'em, or it's only like a pick 'em again, right? This is the first game where they're like, okay, these guys are fucking terrible, and here's 12.5 points. I feel like you wouldn't expect me to think this way, but if it was like Dolphins and, I don't know, Dolphins are going to Dragons, and Dragons are like minus 2.5, we would be like, I'm taking Dragons. Fuck these cunts. They've shown me they're garbage. They've stop putting them pick 'em. Stop they've shown them much worse, and then they go in. But now it's like, okay, we know they're shit. We know they fucked us over. Are they that shit to go and get 13+? Which I'm like, yeah, they are.
Is it going to like?
But is it a good bet to go and take it?
It's so hard to pick the Brisbane games, and like fortunately, I've been on the right side of a few of them. But I think you've got them all wrong.
I've been on the
I've got the Raiders one.
I've been on the wrong side of
all of them.
All 3 Dolphins and Broncos games.
Yeah.
So as far as I'm concerned, I shouldn't even have a fucking opinion about
Yeah,
this game.
so I've got the first one, the first 2, last one, well, intercept, and obviously we both got all the Dolphins ones wrong. Fuck me. It's just this so high variant. Like, I can't...
Broncos?
I don't know what to say. They could easily win by 50, but they could also win by 4. And I think I said this to you originally when I saw this line. Dolphins fuck it up for themselves in a lot of scenarios.
They do,
They're in games and they fuck it up. The thing is, Brisbane, the way they're playing, are going to give them a layup and give them that opportunity. Now, will it stick for Brisbane against Dolphins, rivalry and stuff? It could. But do you want to be on the other side of minus 12 when you're basically saying, all right, the only way Brisbane cover this line is Walsh doesn't drop it 5 times, Reynolds kicks to the corner, and Dolphins don't fucking summon some sort of life and all of a sudden play gun. That's a lot to ask to lay 12 points when on the other side, you know that they're labelled as complete dirt based on their first 3 matches, and now they're at the bottom already. Like, I think the last 3 weeks everyone's had hope in them, and this week no one has hope in them. And it's kind of like, all right, well, are you like just 1 week? Are we just 3 weeks too early? And now these motherfuckers are going to go cover. I don't know.
I think they're hopeless, to be honest.
I think they're hopeless, but the problem is Brisbane's going to give it to them.
Can I tell you something that's fucking despicable?
Yeah.
I actually think this is the worst edge defense that Broncos have faced so far this year. That includes Roosters and Cowboys. This Dolphins edge defense is just despicable.
But what we saw from... Okay, I agree. It's awful.
It's fucking bad.
It's awful. But what we've seen from Brisbane is... In all 3 games, and now everyone's going to hate me because Dolphins are 0-3, they've actually won the middle of the park.
Brisbane?
Dolphins.
Yeah, they have, yeah.
And Brisbane are typically really bad when they lose the middle of the park, i.e. the Raiders game. When they dominate and absolutely kill the middle of the park, it's over.
Yeah.
It's smoke, right? But they're not like... I don't think anyone can sit there and go, all right, Dolphins are that bad, they're just going to give up in the middle of the park.
Well, I don't think they won it in the Knights game. So
50-50.
So essentially we're saying...
But Knights pack is okay,
But
like at the time.
It's okay, right?
Yeah.
But the games they have won the middle of the park was Souths, probably like one of the worst forward, like middle specifically in the league.
Yeah.
And Tigers, which
nothing
have
special.
Terrell May and not much else.
So they could easily just wipe the floor. If you think, oh yeah, they have Pass and Carrigan, they're going to wipe the floor, play 12. Like there's if they're just going to destroy them through the middle, then they're fucked. Brisbane are going to destroy them. But if Dolphins show, like in my opinion, any fucking pushback,
it's enough to cover 12.
these guys can't. They're not great when they don't win the middle of the park, and we've seen it. Every time they've lost the Raiders game is the most highlighted. If they don't just have their joy through the middle of the park, they can't do anything.
No, I truly think this.
And they force the passes.
I truly think this Dolphins team. You know how I came on the pod a couple of weeks ago and I was like, there'll be a buyback point for Cowboys when they're acknowledged as dirt and they like start to find a bit more form.
Same with these guys.
I think it actually applies even more to Dolphins.
Yeah.
I know the form's in there and it will come at some point. And you actually made this comparison off air, which was a really good one. Dolphins are the Titans of last year.
Yeah.
Where their lineup's all right. They're 0-3 and it's like head scratching of why they're 0-3. At this point, I think...
They played Cowboys and they went and covered.
Yes. Yeah. Or did they play Raiders first and go and cover? When they went to Canberra
it was Cowboys was the first one because no one wanted to take them. They were 18.5.
Yeah. But I'm like, all right, Titans were 18.5 to Cowboys who weren't even good. And Dolphins are only 12 to Broncos.
Yeah,
which
it's
is
short.
like, that's pretty short when you really think about how terrible Dolphins have been. So, in my opinion, I actually think Broncos are going to dismantle these cunts. I'm going full-time for 38 to 12.
All right. I'm 30 to 16.
Broncos just cover for no reason.
I think something like that.
Well, I'm sure you could get a 14.5.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, on to shout out to the Zarefos brothers.
Yeah, we're back.
We're back, and your Dragons are back this week, facing a formidable foe. The Melbourne Storm are coming to town in this one. Toby Couchman moves into the starting side, and former Blues and Kangaroo prop David Clemmer
makes
his club debut off the bench. truly, when he runs out in the red and white, I will die of laughter.
They dropped Laurie, though. It's gay.
Young back rower Dylan Egan also joins the interchange bench for his NRL debut. Dragons, where are you finding these forwards from? Where's Molo? Blake Laurie and the boys. The boys in this case being Fatala Mariner are dropped to the interchange reserves.
Aww.
Moses Sully has been named despite breaking his rib cage against South, so
I guess he's playing.
he's going to run out there.
With water.
Storm. Tyron Wishart takes the halfback jersey off Jerome Hughes. Very capable replacement.
That's fine.
Grant Anderson moves to centre to replace Nick Meaney. Will Warbrick conveniently returns from his concussion against Dragons. Lazarus comes onto the bench for Nelson, who's in concussion protocol from head buddy Grant Anderson. And Bronson Garlic Sauce comes in under 14 jersey with Wishart being promoted into the starting 7 jersey. Spread of 9.5 in this one. We've seen a bit of push out since the team list came out in this one. Can the Dragons come off their... Well, first of all, can the Dragons ever play a road game is what I'm wondering. But can the Dragons truly run out there and do anything against Melbourne after losing to Souths and Dogs?
They're so bad. But, like... I think this is a kitchen sink game for Dragons. As, like... If you guys have any hope whatsoever, this is it, right? I think we came on after round 2 and said you guys are literally one of the dirt of the sport, the 2 losses that you had, right? The way you lost, especially the South. And you were in both games and you lost them right at the end. Now, the Dragons' way is to
Come out and win.
come out and just like
And win.
win,
Say it. Yeah.
win by a lot, a big margin. Like get a lead and then fuck it up. Like let him come back a little bit, but win anyway. You're never good in those like nip and tuck games.
Yeah.
So the best bet actually in this case isn't Dragons. It's either team 13 plus because you could just get a normal scenario of Melbourne win by 13 plus. You could. But I truly think like if Dragons are gonna win, they're gonna like just wipe the floor for no reason. And
Your rationale's right.
but
But-
is it this game?
No.
I don't know. Is it like a tough one for Melbourne? Most likely not. They get a 9-day rest. So Dragons could have. We don't know what they've done in their bye. Did they train? We don't know. But the rest part, the bye part, kind of goes out the window. Hughes is a big loss. Munster has a lot on his shoulders, and so does Pappy, depending on how, like, if he gets through, I think he rolled his ankle. He's playing, but we'll see. Obviously, things change. But if Failonga goes in, like, it's still fine. That can still score. Dragons just don't win the middle of the park enough for me, and Melbourne right now, even without Nelson, still are pretty good through the middle of the park. And Dragons, I'm not trusting their spine with anything. So I think... to lay something, I'll just lay with Melbourne and close my eyes.
Well, this is really trapped. This is a trapped line
Yeah.
that we've seen for years and years that Melbourne can lose one of their spine players and you won't even notice they're gone.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they can compete and win games with it. I'm saying
They're
you
good.
take one of the 4 out and these guys still go out and win by 50, right?
Yeah.
Now, they're coming off a grand final rematch, which obviously a lot was made heading into the game. There was a lot of lead-up work. They came out like really ready for the fight and ready to win by knockout. Won up 14-0 in 2 seconds. Did they mail it in from that point and start like playing like idiots? Yes. Which I think as
This is the worst thing
for those that came onto the review, I legit was like, Dragons, I'm sorry for you guys that Melbourne, I would feel much better about taking Dragons this week if Melbourne just won 150-0.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, the fact that like Bellamy's in the press conference blowing up that, I don't know like why these guys let their foot off the gas. Now you give them 9 days to turn around. They're going on the road for the first time this season. All their games have been at Melbourne so far. They're relatively fresh and healthy because they already also had their bye for no reason in round 2. And you're laying less than 10 points. Like, Penrith are a bigger line this week with nothing.
Yeah.
And Souths beat Dragons. Like,
It doesn't make
make
sense.
it make sense. What the hell? So, I'm sorry, Zarafos brothers. I know you guys think you have hope, but this Dragons team is just... It's just not even in the same, like... Don't worry about postcode. It's not even in the same country. It's not even in the same fucking planet as Melbourne.
And in terms of narrative, next week Dragons play Para, which is the
Are-
old
okay,
4 ball.
Yeah, like that's the ball of like whoever loses that game probably will be the
Come.
last team to get a win.
Oh, well,
say.
there's always Cowboys.
There's Cowboys. We don't know when their win's coming, but is this at 3 p.m. on Saturday?
Yeah, they're dead.
Well, just like what happened the last time Melbourne played in the afternoon?
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
like I would.
Just shit schedule.
I truly think I would have taken Dragons in this situation against probably 14 other teams in the NRL. Coming off their bye for their third consecutive home game being 0-2. I swear to God, I'll close my eyes and just take Dragons no matter what. But I'm not even getting double digits against Melbourne. Why would I take them? Still have Coates, still have Warbrick,
Still have Munster.
still have Howarth,
and Powell.
Munster, Pappy, Harry Grant, Eli Katoa, Stefano.
It's Dragons.
And you can't just run it out fucking
Really
these
is.
weird David Clemmer off the bench. You know, to give me 10 points. You want me to take him? Come on.
No way.
But in true Dragons fashion, they might go and win.
They could. That's what I'm
It's
saying.
just-
Either team 13 plus.
Yeah, well, if Dragons win 13 plus, you're the true messiah of Dragons. I'll give you that one, mate.
All right.
All right, shout out to Charles Croon. Shout out to Matt, because I'm talking about Cowboys for the 50th week in a row. The Cowboys,
Why does he get a shower?
because he loves them. They are hosting the Canberra Raiders, and some can still see footage of Ricky Stewart outside Grant Atkins' house with a Barrett 50 cal aimed at his chest, but he has not pulled the trigger because the calls are coming, baby.
So they didn't give him
Who's
Brad.
ref- No. Well,
Who's the ref?
I'll confirm that for you shortly, sir. But first is ins and outs. Zach Laybart is among the reserves and potentially might get in there, but
Oh, that's good.
again, Todd Payton's the audacity of you running out the same 17 losers that didn't get the job done against Broncos.
They played good, though.
Joseph Tapani returns from suspension, which is meaningless in the market apparently. Sees Corey Horsburgh shift to lock and Trey Mooney shift to the interchange bench. I would personally shift him out of the country, but that's just me. Morgan Smithies will miss the match due to concussion. So, a spread of no spread at all, actually. This is a pick 'em, believe it or not. Cowboys, do they truly have hope to be even money against Raiders?
No. This is the easiest one of the week. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even think this is going to be 3 minutes worth of
Adam
analysis.
G.
Yes! Unders! That's good. I don't think there's more than 3 minutes of analysis required on this game.
What's there to say?
Well, look, this is such an overreaction from that Manly game. Now, it is a 6-day turnaround, but Raiders are pissed. And I think, like, Ricky is one to be like, all right, boys, we lost last week, cop it on the chin. We go out this week and play harder than we did before. Intrinsically, he knows they got fucking robbed in that game with the calls from Grant Atkins. But his boys, he doesn't care. He doesn't want that message going to his players. And their captain's coming back. Literally, this is a no-brainer. I cannot believe anyone's taking Cowboys. Like, Cowboys are literal dirt. And look, they fought against Brisbane and fought hard, but everyone knows that they blamed Brisbane's side of the ball. How many errors can Walsh make? How many times did they not get around them when they half chance could? And they literally were an intercept away from covering the spread anyway.
Of
And
17.
Of 17 against Cowboys. This is literally doesn't even need more than 3 minutes analysis. Let's get on to the next game. There is no reason to take Cowboys at all.
Does this qualify as under duress of me saying Raiders? If you guys are actually good, then like, why the fuck would you lose to Cowboys?
Actually, it's under the rest Raiders.
Yeah.
You guys are going to go beat Brisbane and beat Warriors 70-0 and in Vegas, and then get robbed and then go out and give Cowboys a victory, then fuck off.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think this is bad timing for Cowboys in terms of the Raiders side that's coming to town.
Anytime's timing for
The
them.
one thing I would say on the Raiders side of things, which is a bit shit for them, is this is fucking a really bad like logistical start to the season. You fly to Vegas, you come home for one game, you go to Manly, and then you have a 6-day turnaround going to Townsville. That's atrocious. But
It's Cowboys.
they're going to be like rearing to go. And I would rather this sort of garbage like traveling slate to start the season as opposed to when Souths go to Perth and then go to fucking Dubai to play a game.
Yeah.
By round 20 and they're tired.
doing
They're doing this by the time they come back and they give up.
Apparently, they went to Dubai this week because
Yeah.
it's 10.5.
Yeah. So that doesn't concern me as much. And you're literally like even money to just win the fucking match. Like,
shit.
you're telling me after all this recovering and all this garbage that Raiders have done, just because Grant Atkins gives 106 against the Manly, that now you're going to put him even money to beat the like spineless Cowboys?
No, because
team?
this is literally last week all over again. Cowboys edition. Dolphins version was last week. This week's Cowboys edition.
This week's Cowboys edition, yeah.
This is the
Where
last
they actually
hope.
can win, yeah.
Right? This is their last hope. Because if they fuck this up, they go to Penrith next week. Good luck to them. They're going to die. Especially if Penrith are 3 losses in a row, which according to this guy, that's going to happen.
All I'm saying, principle-wise, is Raiders should be laying something.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
You know, like...
It's come in. It was 2.5. It's the come in.
Yeah,
Who's taking Cowboys? Imagine having a ticket right now +2. You're cheering because you got 2 points of value. Little do you know you've bet on the dirt of the sport. It's incredible.
Imagine being on a Cowboys ticket and it's plus nothing. It's just, I need these guys to get a win. And I'm only getting like $1.90 for that. No way.
No
It's
way.
Cowboys. And they're still running out Vilea. They're still running out like...
Kai O'Donnell and Bateman.
Bateman. Like, just spineless players. Will you get a big effort from them?
No. They did that last week.
Yeah. I can't like...
Like, if they quit last week, I feel like I would be more inclined to take Cowboys. Like,
Same,
they're going to fire up.
same, yeah.
But they tried. That's the problem.
Yeah, they were better off not trying.
Yeah, they tried and they lost. So now, what do you think they're going to Townsville and be like, we're going to go out and try again?
That's why round 3 is so pivotal.
Yeah.
And round 3 is like, all right, if you're 0-2, like, boys, all those, like, 0-2 cunts really tried their tails off.
every single one of them.
Cowboys, Dolphins.
Yeah.
But
Dragons.
unfortunately, with that very big high of everything is so important this week and we need to go and get a win. Once you don't get that win, it's like, all right, we're shit.
Yeah.
And will Cowboys just roll over and be like, we're shit? I think so. I like, and you're getting Tarpany back as well, who hasn't even been there for 2
You know what's
weeks.
fascinating? In the miss the 8 odds, right? Raiders are 2-1, right? And Cowboys are 0-3. The miss the 8 odds, Cowboys are $1.14 to miss the 8, which I can't believe they're giving 14 cents. Raiders are $1.60. So what you're saying is everyone knows they're about 50 cents better than these cunts. And apparently home court is such a shift that Cowboys have to be pick'em. Raiders have to be laying something in this game. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And
what would you have them laying?
2.5 at least, if not 4.
If not 4, yeah.
Like all that hype I heard from Raiders last week to be 2.5 against Manly. Yeah, you got robbed, right? And you could have. I can't. What would the line be if they won last week? 6.5.
4. Would have been 4.
I don't know.
Yeah, it would have been 4.
If these calls, it could have been 6.
Yeah, legit. Like, this is out of control. That this is a pick 'em.
Unbelievable. If Cowboys win, short. Like, literally,
sure, that's
whatever.
fine, yeah.
Like, I just cannot
I'll
see
be
it.
like, I'll be pissed off at Raiders. I'll be like, you guys are just fucking
Garbage, yeah.
pointless. After all that, for you guys to be 2-2. But
They're them, and there's one other team that will truly piss me off if they lose.
if Raiders literally like are gonna put their names in the hat for the top 8, you don't lose this game to Cowboys, in my opinion.
Well, there's one other team that will that will be more infuriating.
Is that who we're about to talk about?
No, it's
Because-
the last game.
Death taxes and this team being 1-17, the Sharkies.
Yeah.
Well, they're not really 1-17, but everyone of note is playing for them.
In the reserves of this game, I believe there's a small change. Tom Hazelton returns from his back injury and takes
Hamlin Uele's spot
on the bench.
He was shit anyway.
Talakai
thank
has
God.
been named despite leaving the field with the ankle problem last week. Toby Rudolph is also in the mix to return from off-season shoulder surgery.
in case they didn't have enough forwards already. Fantastic. On the dog side of things, why would you change a winning formula 1-17 for Cameron Serraldo?
They play Para. You mean they can't change anything from 1 to 17?
Because they have no other players.
Yeah.
So, in a round of pretty big spreads, the Dogs, in spite of the fact that they're 3-0, which I feel like a lot of casual punters or casual fans of the league
I'm going to take it.
are going to raise their eyebrows and be like, oh, they're 3-0 and they're $4. That's pretty good. Shout out to Matt and shout out to Chris Creas. Is this a trap line for the Doggies getting 11 points at Shark Park?
Just stay away from, it's okay to lose a game in the season, and this one is going to be an L. By how much? 13 plus. I'll give Dogs 20 points. Sure. You tell me Sharks are not going to score 32. And
Did they score that against Souths?
no. But back-to-back games at home, back-to-back games at Shark Park, playing a dog side. Yeah, you didn't travel. You went to Para off a shorter turnaround. I can't see it. And literally, like I said in the Para game, in the analysis, size will get to you at some point. And you want to talk about size. I mean, They literally get bigger by the week. It's incredible.
Sharks forwards.
Yeah. And tackling Adam Fanua-Blake, I mean, you put Moran in front of it, could just... Moran is a fantastic player and able to run, get the...
like a fucking...
Lock forward.
Like a donkey.
He's able to get the forwards, turned around. He's really quick through the middle of the park, and it really troubles forwards. But defensively...
Similar to a mule.
I mean, this guy's just going to pick out the smallest ones and run at him. And you got one of those, and then you got 3 more idiots on the bench who are just as big as each other. Eventually, Side's going to catch up with you. And I think this one, it means more to Sharks winning this game, more than anything. After they lost last year in the Golden Point game, and especially for Hines. I mean, that's where it all started. And
the Sharks' demise.
The Sharks' demise, when he missed those field goals. And I think, he could play awful, but he has Trindle, so don't worry. But I think he will have a great game. And I think he's really going to take this game and head forward from here. Because once he's, that game really turned him to be all right, my confidence is low, I'm done, bro. But if he can go out there and annihilate Dogs, it'll be all right, look, I can do this. It's not hard. It really isn't. But this guy finds it difficult. So I can't see past Dogs. I can't see past Sharks. I think they're also, on top of everything I just said, they're due to fucking annihilate someone soon. And a team that can't score is not some team that you want to go to Shark Park.
I think this is the hardest game of the round for me to get my head around. Should Dogs go and get smashed? Oh, yeah. This is like the mother of horrible fucking spots to be in, right? Back to back Sunday games in the scorching heat. Physically imposing style of play in all 3 of those games.
And they were tired.
Dragons was physical. Titans was physical. And they were getting tired in that back half of the game where Titans were coming for them. Last week, just brutal.
Yeah.
Toby Sexton said it was the toughest game he's ever played in his life.
He kicked 1,000 kick meters.
And watching the game, I agreed with him. The Para, if they could score, it would be a different story, right? But physically, they really laid the wood on these guys for 60 minutes of that 80.
Well, Sharks on the other end.
Sharks, they were essentially went to Disneyland playing the Souths because within 5 minutes, Souths had nothing for
Could they give it up?
Right? You could argue with me Dogs are battle tested and Sharks really aren't. You could argue with me that what I just said about Dogs being wrong place, wrong time. You could argue with me that Sharks are a top 4 side and minus Burden and Kickow and Kiraz and all these things going for them. This is a perfect spot for them to make a statement and put Dogs away. But I don't trust the Sharkies after the last 2 rounds. I know they covered against Cowboys. I know they went up 26-0 against Souths, but I haven't seen enough from them for me to just automatically assume they're going to go and beat a quality club. I'm not going to call them a quality team because obviously Burton and Kickow are out at the moment. So is Kiraz. But
Kiraz, I was right about you, wasn't I?
It's a very different scenario of, oh, you know what? I'll jump on Para because Burton and Kickow are out because they're getting 8.5 points. And it's also very different to be like, oh yeah, Dogs will just lose 13 plus. Realistically, how many games have these guys even lost 13 plus in the last 18 months?
Yeah, but how many games have they not had Burton and Kickow? Both.
No, I understand. Well, that's why you're getting 11, right? What would the spread be if both of these teams were full strength? Dogs would get, 4.5 at Shark Park?
Is that it?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'd probably rather Burton and Kickow play and I'd only have to lay 4. But this Dogs team screams to me grit, toughness, never quit, never die. And Sharks, I have not seen ruthlessness from these guys to suggest that they're going to go out and put the fucking Dogs in a headlock and strangle them to death. I know they're capable. If you told me, yeah, Dogs played their best, Sharks played their best, I'll be like, Sharks won this 36-10 because Dogs just don't have the horses, they don't have the petrol in the tank. But I'm not seeing, until I see that ruthlessness remember there was a stretch last year where Sharks legit won 50-10, 50-6, 50-6 against Dragons, Tigers.
Do you actually? I know when it happened. It was round 4.
Was it?
Because after they lost the Tigers, then they went 50 and
annihilated. Yeah. And it was also in the middle of the season they did it again, or maybe I'm hilariously thinking of 2 years ago, which they probably did the same garbage. I don't see the fire in their eyes at the moment for me to take 13 plus, and I'm I don't want to take Dogs with all these
1 to
factors
40.
going
1 to
against them.
40.
Probably,
I can't see Dogs winning.
Probably like a margin of Sharks 1 to 24 is something I would.
I can't see
probably
Dogs
take.
winning. Like, there's no out of all the upsets, I can't see them winning, but I can see them.
If Dogs win,
Keep it close.
I'll be like shocked.
But if like Cronulla go out there and annihilate them, I won't be shocked.
Me
I'll be
neither.
like,
Me neither.
I'll be like,
Yeah, no,
all
I
right,
agree
this
with
is
you,
what's
but
supposed to happen.
I think what I'm saying is I have enough respect for this Doggy side to not go and lay 13.
Fair
against
enough.
them.
Look, we don't have to. I think 1 to 20, 1 to. I don't see Dogs winning, so I think
Fair
that's
enough.
probably the
Yeah.
best bet.
But I do see Sharks winning by 40 potentially.
Yeah, it could happen, but that would just be like that's how much Burden and Kikau mean to them, and that kind of like
And the
translates.
situational spot of, like, it's
yeah,
just
and
the-
Kiraz on the other hand, I'm telling you, this guy's not injured. How can you be out till round 7?
It's back pain. So
Oh, piss off! And conveniently, you're back with the other boys as well. They all come back at the same time. All right, like, sure. I mean, just give him his contract, dog. If that's the way he's going to be, fuck me.
I'll actually say as well, this is the game I'm least keen for this round.
Sharks, Dogs.
I could easily not watch this and I wouldn't give a fuck. If I wasn't like a NRL maniac that watches every second of every game.
Roosters Titans is hilarious.
That's hilarious.
Dolphins, I think.
Nah. I need to see if they're true, like,
Ah,
we'll go and
okay,
roll
yeah.
over.
Maybe-
Souths, obviously, they're
Souths-
never in
yeah,
contention
Souths.
for...
Dragons are never in contention
Yeah.
either.
So
The
you're
middle
left
Raiders are never in contention.
And Cowboys.
Yeah, obviously, they're never in.
Sunday, you get to watch Manly, which is GOAT with Para. What's the final game? Tigers. Well, they must see TV right now. Can they hold
Yeah,
another
all
team
right.
to
It
nil?
is.
This
You're
is
right.
the least exciting game of the round. If it was Kickout and Burden, it might have been the most exciting. But
Yeah, it would have been game of
unfortunately-
the round. What's
Yeah.
game of the round now? The first one. Has to be.
That's the back yourself game of the round.
Nah,
I'd say
nah. I think it is.
objectively, Tigers at Campbelltown.
Maybe. Yeah, it's between that and the first one.
I feel
think
like
the first
Tigers
one's
have
up
kind
there.
of been the story of the NRL so far.
Yeah,
So
they love them.
That's
They love
probably
them.
what I'll put it down to. All right,
They
moving
love
on
them enough
to
put them
Brookvale.
3.5.
4 p.m. sharp at 4 Pints Park, which has been a fucking death sentence so far in the 2025 season.
For the other team and
what
the
is the
refs.
combined, like 96 to 20 or something between the first two games at 4 Pints Park? Sees Tom Trebojevic come back and reclaim his number 1 jersey off Lehigh Hopewadi, and Paseka unfortunately goes down with his Achilles tear. Sees Josh Alai move into the starting side, which, as unfortunate as it is seeing Paseka go down, and I really think that might be a big underrated loss for Manly throughout the rest of the season. It does see your back yourself favourite coming on
Nathan
the interchange bench. Nathan Brown, go Nathan Brown, off the back bench.
Well, look, if he's not out the whole year, it's not the worst thing in the world. Like,
Yeah,
if he
I-
comes
I
back,
would hope
that helps.
If people are coming back from Achilles ruptures in 5 months, then we've come a long way in
Yeah,
sport, mate. That's
yeah.
insane. Moving on to the Parramatta Eels, 2 changes for Jason Riles. This guy's lost the plot, which I noticed he did this. Sean Russell comes in for Samrani. What did he do wrong to get dropped?
He did drop it a few times,
Yeah.
but he was all right.
He was
He
fine.
was backed up.
And Daniel Kyer comes into the side, and Sam Tuivasa makes way, which I didn't even know who that was.
I don't know
to
who
be
that
honest.
was, but he kept the second row. We were saying he was good.
Yeah, we like him. Ofen Gowie makes his 200th NRL appearance. To get absolutely bent over and molested on live television
I forgot.
at Manly.
Don't worry about the Raiders take. This will literally take 3 minutes. Shout out Seabass. Literally, they're gonna die. I don't think the bookies can put the line big enough. I don't think it'll get there. How is this not 24, but the Roosters game was? I think they're dead. And they tried last week. Like, this is exactly Cowboys. But these guys are in a bad spot because they're going to Manly. Like, one of the worst places. And Manly, I hope Seabold, you can't trust him. But I hope he sit there and went, we weren't great last week. We got lucky. We looked good. Knowing Seabold, he won't do that. But I'm hoping this Manly is different. And he's like, you know what? We were pretty shit last week, to be honest. We got calls. We got the sin bin. That's why we won by 50. But we were pretty bad. And round 2, all right, we didn't get all the calls. Scenario, we couldn't defend, sure. Round 1, you could say they got all the calls. I think they did dominate. They would have won maybe by that much anyway.
I think they
but
deserved the calls in round 1.
they deserved the calls, but okay, maybe they won by one less try, but they deserved it. Now it's 3 rounds in. We have to get a read on Manly, and I think the read's going to be back to round 1 expectation. These kinds of fucked.
Can I tell you what the garbage thing in this game is? It's raining in Sydney for 4 days straight.
Yes, I've
leading
heard.
into the Sunday.
Which
at
is
Brookvale,
awful for Manly.
Which is terrible for Manly.
But
Like,
they don't need to do anything. Para can't even beat Manly on their good day, when they were good.
No, I understand.
Yet alone now.
I understand. Manly traditionally has been a terrible matchup for Para. Just awful. Like, fuck me.
The edge defense just can't do anything.
But
Para's good now.
can you lay minus 18.5 in the pouring rain? Probably not.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't think that the rain brings the teams a bit closer together?
No. Literally, it's not big enough. 24. These cunts suck.
What would you do at 24? Take Para?
Yeah. 24 in the rain. Come on.
What if it was dry and sunny?
I wouldn't. 26, 27. Bro. Barely, like, they might score every set. It's ridiculous. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Dogs, I'm telling you, like,
I know.
Dogs
So look at
could
the fair
not
squad.
score
Yeah, so
at
look at
all. And you're taking another team who just scored 40. Okay, they got all the calls. They don't need those calls, and they'll win by 4. Look at what happened last week, right? It was 40-12. You could replicate that score, and Manly had the same amount of calls. It easily could happen.
No, I agree with
And
you. Yeah.
that's 28.
But that would be in like a normal condition 4 p.m. Brookvale game for me. I would take. You're gonna love this bet, surely. Guess what the total for this game is?
52.
It's 55.5.
Jesus.
All right, listen.
Manly could just score that.
Listen. All right, I'll give Manly 36 points in the pouring rain. Can Para get to 20?
No.
Unders. It's easy. 55 in the rain. Come on, Para. I know Para literally had Dogs kicking from their 20-meter line for like 50 minutes straight and scored 8 points.
They can't score.
And they can't
So why
score.
is this 55? Is there like any chance it's clearing up?
Oh, no.
Because if it's not raining like pelting,
I know.
55's in jeopardy from one team.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm well aware. It's just Para, like...
55's a lot. They're awful. So what's Para's one? 20.
Yeah,
They
probably.
can't score.
I would say Manly's is 36 probably, and Para's is 18.
They can't score.
I understand that.
They can't even kick, let alone score.
No, they're a fucking...
Shit.
It's a death sentence. There's no reason for these guys to go to Manly and do anything.
They're dead.
I think vibes are bad in Parramatta. I think,
40 Dean's still there.
personally, I'm not sure how accurate this is, but my theory is that both Para and Dragons to a much lesser extent, but especially Para, they know they're going to get romped this weekend. And they know that potentially they can get a win next week when they play each other. Obviously, they look ahead as Dragons and Para.
Well, I think Footboy might play.
He might run out there.
I have a sneaky suspicion this cunt's just going to run out there for no reason.
That's more of a reason for these cunts to give up. Against
Yeah,
Manly.
well, look, obviously he's come on and said it's 5-4. He's a fucking liar. If he sees his team out there 0-4 playing Dragons, you kind of get a little bit more motivation. Be like, fuck.
Yeah, look,
I'm a little bit
my
sore,
foot
but I'll
hurts,
play.
Fuck it, yeah.
And if he plays Dragons, we'll lose. So, yeah, that's more of a motivation to give up.
As far as this week's concerned, the only reason I would even think Para can stay in the contents is the weather. There's nothing else that would suggest to me that they can go to 4 Pines Park and stay in the contents. They're dead meat.
And on the look ahead, like, this is just as bad as when they went to Melbourne, and we saw what happened there, regardless of the weather. Because on the look ahead, Manly is pick 'em. So
Without Hughes, that's fascinating. Actually.
yeah, so it's like, all right. So we saw what happened there. If it's that weather again, they would get a bigger score than what Melbourne did. Because Melbourne gave up. So
I don't think anyone can get a bigger first half score.
not 46 the first
That was
half.
fucked.
The second half, that's when really shit starts happening.
Yeah, I don't think Manly would just fucking start dropping in and give up in the
No.
second half. They did it to Cowboys because it was
round
poor old Cowboys.
Yeah.
But when Para would mail it in and they see blood in the water, then it would be. Again, I truly
If it's not raining,
I don't see anything that Para could do.
if all of a sudden the clouds disappear, just don't even think about taking unders.
Yeah, in a round of, I pretty much have lent towards the underdog in every game except the Dragons and Para. I think both of these cunts are it's going to be a tough.
Cowboys, because you can get actually Raiders as underdogs.
No, I count that as a true pick 'em when Cowboys should be underdogs, but that's a whole other kettle of fish. Moving on to the team of the darlings of the 2025 NRL season.
Warriors. Oh, Warriors.
The West Tigers have the Wars coming back to Australia where they actually have not played this season. So obviously Vegas was not a very good stomping ground for them. They mailed it in and played despicable there, which I haven't forgotten. But coming off 2 straight wins and coming to Sydney, I'm sure they're going to be up for the contest in this one. A spread of 4.5. Shout out to BackYourself Premium, who only had to lay 2.5 2 days ago at $1.95. We were quite ahead of this
What did
one.
everyone think? Like this,
We were quite.
nothing's
I feel like
changed.
we were quite ahead of this in terms of knowing that sharp money, blunt money, average Joe on the street, everyone wants to be on the Tigers, so you're better off taking
Isn't
it
it 1
early.
to 17 both teams?
Not exactly so. So
cool.
I'll lay that into you. Winger Gerald Skelton has been named despite leaving the field with a hamstring injury. Back rower Samuel Afine, who also came off early, but he's good to go as Benji is naming 1 to 17 to run out there.
So who would play wing?
Lala Licky will come in. I
I
believe,
like
so.
him. He's all right.
Yeah. So I thought that I would rather that than have like Stafford to come and play wing or something.
Oh, yeah, no,
I
no,
feel like
I'd
he's
rather
more
than
of a
actual
center.
winger. Yeah, he's more of a centre.
And we like Lala like he's
Yeah,
alright.
he's all right. He's all right.
On the Warriors side of things, unfortunately, which was terrible news, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck's hamstring strain is
yeah.
a very high grade one. 8 weeks out on the sidelines for Roger, which is just shit. Which sees, drum roll please, even better. Who was the original Vilea?
Semi-val, mate.
No. So okay, so there was the worst.
The Warriors
worst-
by Leah.
The worst center in the league until Vilea came and took it off him. So who was it?
Rocco Berry.
He's back, baby. Adam Pompey onto the wing and Rocco Berry in the centers to come and drop it 15 times. Outside of that, the same losers running out for Warriors. So it's Chrissy, now a spread of 4.5. Is that it, I would say?
All right. If I had under duress, it'd be Tigers.
Wow, okay.
Literally, you cunts. After all of this, if you're going to mail it into Warriors, like literally, what was the point? And everyone, Campbelltown's going to be popping off.
Oh, they're going to be loving it.
They're
mate.
going to be loving it because the Knights game's off their radar. They've gone on back-to-back victories. Tigers look great, and there's no reason to lose the Warriors at all in any capacity. And 4.5, I agree with my co-host here. Is that it? Like, they should annihilate this Warriors team. They're fucking garbage. And Warriors last week, all right, you played Roosters. Roosters were off their greatest win ever, apparently, because clearly they mailed it in, and couldn't score at all. Neither then can you guys, because you just preyed on a Harris Tavita catch over Dom Young Tedesco and whoever plays center. Oh, Mark, what's his name?
Nawako Tawai.
Yeah, all the high jump champions, but don't worry, Harris Tavita was there. And the week before that, we already established in week 2, you got 10,000 calls to make sure that you Manly lost the game. So,
Don't worry about man, they got it back.
yeah, literally. But in that analysis, unless, like, I don't know, Wyatt's reffing or some shit, you should be fine. Tigers should annihilate this game and win by 50.
What is Wyatt doing?
Who's reffing?
What does Wyatt reffing have anything to do with
Because
anything?
he gives Warriors calls.
He
He's
does,
always
he
the one that goes
Son
to
of
New
a
Zealand.
bitch. I'll never forgive him.
He always goes to Warriors and gives them calls.
The referee is Wyatt.
Damn it! All right, so Tigers have an excuse, but regardless, like, don't worry, hystericals aside, under duress for me is Tigers. There's no reason to go win those 2 games and mail it into Warriors. Wake up, you should be 3-1 very easily, and in my opinion, you should be 4-0 because Knights week 1 didn't show that they were better than you. You just didn't have Bull and Coruscant. Fair enough. You'll be 3-1. You guys should easily win this game. You tell me you're scared of Waz. Never back down to Waz.
I'm scared of the NRL as an organization. I know the sport too well. Is the spread right at 4.5?
No.
Technically, yeah. I think it's.
But the
probably
world's
right.
going to take Tigers anyway.
Does everything that we've visually seen with our own 2 eyes over the first 3 rounds and everything that we could project forward lead me to believe that Tigers truly can cover this easily? Big time. If both of these teams play their best, I think Tigers can win this by 8 or 10 pretty comfortably, right? Warriors, I got into a bit of a back and forth with one of the boys in the comment section of the review because their beef with us, and I think I see his rationale, so I'm going to give him somewhat of a credit for actually bringing it to our attention. He said, how can you guys come on the podcast when Warriors are 2-1 and call them fucking garbage when Tigers are also 2-1 and they have the same record and they're like relatively priced evenly? My counterpoint to him was we had our concerns about Warriors coming into the season. What was the concerns? Their spine is fucking garbage.
Yeah.
3 rounds in, boasting a 2-1 record. Have I seen anything to suggest to me that their spine isn't fucking
It's the
garbage?
same shit.
No, they are like
They are
not.
what they are.
They're not good enough to consistently compete in the NRL, in my opinion. Harris DeVita, outside of being a chip and chase demon, does not have the qualities of a NRL caliber 5'8". Luke Metcalf is a good running half, but I don't think he has the organizational skills to steer a footy team around the park. Not yet.
Literally.
Not yet, anyway. Chanzi is just a busy guy and not much else.
Stop. We don't have to explain ourselves in the comments. They're shit.
They're
we
shit.
saw it week
They're
1.
shit, right? But
I
look,
mean,
if you want our analysis, that's our Warriors analysis.
and on top of that,
And
you
on
don't
top
even
of
have
that,
G. Like,
and on top of that, Tigers are. Don't worry about Buller. If Coruscant plays the Knights game, they're 3-0.
Yeah.
With one nip and tuck win, one absolute domination of a team, and one
great comeback.
amazing comeback, right? Warriors, on their resume, was a fucking 50-0 loss in Vegas to Raiders, right? Which, in hindsight, Raiders, are they good, are they not?
We don't
I guess
know. Well, they
we
pick
don't
up
know,
this
right?
week, so I mean...
So, I think, and on the Tigers side of things, what was the concern with Tigers coming into the season? All right, are they too mentally ill to stay in contests consistently, and can you rely on them defensively? I would say of the concerns, they've fucking exceeded expectation and then some, right?
Yeah.
We thought, all right, if Tigers are going to be 2-1, they probably won like 38, 34.
If anything, their offense has let them down.
If anything, their offense has let them down. But me and you sitting here, we're not going to be concerned moving forward with the spine of Luai, Galvin, Coruscant, and Buller, right?
Yeah.
And even in the Dolphins win, Coruscant stepped up when he was needed most.
Yeah.
Buller stepped up in the Parramatta game when he was needed most. So, having said all that, the rational side of me is like, Tigers should beat them somewhat comfortably in the end. But me knowing this sport, this, of all the underdogs of the week, Warriors are going to come and win for no reason. Tigers are going to play like a bunch of fucking idiots. And at the end of the round, I'm going to come on and flame these Well, I'm not going to flame them because they'll be 2-2 and that's fine. But I'm going to sit here and consist like... It's going to be another week of me being like, Warriors are garbage. And then it's just going to keep piling on. Bro, but they're 1-1. Bro, but they're 2-1. Bro, but they're 3-1. When at the end of the day, like... Similarly to how no matter what Knights do, you're like, these cunts aren't good. I know Warriors in the end will show that they're not good. But this week, will they go and maybe win outright? I think maybe, but...
No, there's no maybe.
Because...
They're dead.
Tigers have played pretty good 3 weeks in a row.
Listen.
And I'm at a point where I'm like... Can I just walk into every week and be like, Tigers going to play gun again?
Yeah.
If you think that, then just take the -4, 5, 6, 7. I don't give a fuck. Just take it.
13 plus. This is ridiculous. It's Warriors. There's nothing on that team that scares me at all.
Their forwards somewhat scare me.
Nah.
I think in the middle of the park they can get over top of
No, they
Tigers a bit.
No.
They can.
Look,
Mitch Barnett, Fisher Harris.
week 1, they were literally nullified by themselves. They didn't have no running against Raiders, who were bred a pack. They had running. They nullified themselves.
I think they nullified themselves in the Roosters game too.
It's not, like I said in the review, no one intrinsically can defend properly outside of Penrith and Dogs. It's all unable to score from the other team. That's what needs to be highlighted. Titans cannot defend. If anyone comes at me and says, oh, nah, Titans can defend. You saw last week, Knights only scored 6. No. Did you see the Knights offense? That's the problem.
Fucking shit.
Why is everyone like, all right, looking at the good side? Oh, no, bro. Tigers, like, they're a really good defense. Yeah, they are, but they can concede points. So can Warriors. But my issue is, who, in direct scenario right now, who's more likely to score points, Warriors or Tigers?
Tigers.
Exactly. So if you take defenses out the window, and you will have days that they're only going to concede 10, they're only going to concede 6, Who is more likely to be incapable offensively? Warriors. No one can sit there and go, all right, nah. Galvin, Luai, Coruscant, Buller are going to be like, nah, they're not going to be able to score past Warriors. Their defense is too good. Roosters literally had 8 line breaks against your stupid fucking team, and they couldn't score past them. Give Tigers 8 line breaks, and we'll see what happens on Sunday.
Yeah.
They're dead.
I don't really agree with your teams can't defend point. I know you feel very strongly about it, so I won't fight you on it. But in my opinion, Warriors didn't defend Raiders well at all.
No.
I actually don't think they defended Manly at all.
No, they conceded straight away.
In the 4th minute. I know Tigers conceded in the 4th minute to Dolphins as well, but they conceded in the 4th minute like 70 metres out. They conceded a bunch of half breaks that Manly didn't finish, like Turbo dropping it on the end of the backline shift, and a few other like sort of instances
same
just
in the
like
Roosters
that.
game.
And it was exact same in the Roosters game. So I'm of the opinion that you can't come out and concede 8 line breaks a week, but we look at the scoreboard and you only conceded 12 points or 10 points. At a certain point, conceding 8 line breaks a week is going to catch up to you guys. And if anything, which defense do I think is more legit going into the game? I would say Tigers, because they've gone multiple halves of footy where the other teams had plenty of ball in their goal line and they just haven't fucking conceded.
And meterage-wise, like without Tuivasa-Sheck getting 250 metres, you're not going to be out, like, the metres for the back line.
All right, what do they have? Rocco Berry, Pompey, Chanzi, Tuapiki, and Leotala, who's the only one that has a pulse on the
So the first 3 hit-ups, you're going to make maybe 20 metres, and then maybe Fisharis will take a run.
If you have Roger and Dallin, it's a different story. You guys can actually make metres, but this is just shit from Warriors, bro.
They're shit.
So I think Tigers should win. They should cover.
And on top of that, kicking 2 metres.
Yeah,
like,
no, I'm good.
Yeah, there's nothing in it.
I really despise these.
They're
guys.
not good.
Not in an emotional way of.
And they do not deserve to be 3-1 in any capacity. If you want to add that in, same record as Tigers, nah, bro.
Yeah.
No, better record than Tigers. Nah.
If one of these 2-1 teams deserves to be 3-1 and one deserves to be 2-2, you should see Tigers win this week.
Correct.
But I'm looking at it ultra logically, and anytime I do that, some garbage happens in the NRL.
Not this one, mate.
But I hope not. Tigers, come on, boys, bring it home. In saying that, that will wrap us up for today. Chrissy, I want you 3 things that you're most eager for in this round, my friend. What do you think in champion?
Right. Don't give us 50 upsets. That's what I'm going to say.
I kind of want it.
No.
But the ones that I picked.
I'm sick of this. Upsets, no upsets. Upsets, no upsets. Just give us 3. South, maybe Dragons.
No, not Dragons.
Maybe Dolphins. Maybe Titans. Something like that. Fine. I wanna see an annihilation of Cowboys.
Oh, wow, okay.
So everyone really truly understands they're awful and can come last. And finally, I want a dismantlement of Warriors. In my true heart, what would make me feel better is Para lose by less than what Warriors will. Because I want every single person to understand Warriors aren't good. There's nothing good about them. And now everyone is 2-1 because they beat Roosters. Which, you know what's interesting? Outside of, I've literally called all your games. So I'm not a hater. I just know they're garbage. And the only one I did it was Manly when you got 5,000 calls. Last week I tipped you cunts. Week 1 I tipped Raiders. I know you cunts suck. There's no reason to go beat Tigers at all. That's why they're under duress. So, yeah.
Did you do an upset alert?
No.
Why?
I'm thinking.
You're not going to just wake up on Sunday and do Para again?
No.
Wake up if you do.
Or maybe I'll do Warriors so they can lose.
No, because then that'll be the one you win in 2025 and I'll strangle you myself on the review.
I can't.
All right, what am I most eager for?
Titans?
I truly want Titans to go and win, and I'll die of laughter. Souths, I don't even want to count on them. That's the problem.
Yeah, but what if they win? Would you die of laughter?
No, not really.
Why not?
Because it's just like Penrith have nothing. That's not even a like. Oh, see, I told you guys. It's like why is this 10.5? It's just shit.
I'll give you something to laugh at. If Johnson scores, that'll make me laugh.
You're not going to put Sharks 13+ in your what you want to see? Because I feel like Dogs really annoyed you last week.
No. You know what? Dogs. It's fine. Like, I've said my piece with them last year. It's okay. Like, I get over them really quickly.
That's fair.
I've got new cunts to scream at. Cowboys and Warriors. And Roosters are always... They're always in
So,
it.
number 1, I want to see Titans go and win with nothing. Number 2, I'm going to miss Knights. Definitely, I'm going to miss Knights.
Will they come back and score?
Will they come back and cover again? What's Adam O'Brien thinking as we speak? That's the sort of questions that keep me up at night. And number 3, I want to see Cowboys buried 6 feet into the Townsville turf, never to be seen again.
I want Cowboys to be like 20.5 next week against
I want
Penrith.
Cowboys to be down 26-0 at halftime. Just so I see what iteration of them come out in the second half.
They haven't done that yet.
I know.
Did you?
They did in week 1. What are you
Oh,
talking
week
about?
1. Yeah, but week 1 they got
Doesn't
ambushed.
count, yeah. I hope they get ambushed. And truly, I want to see Dolphins lose 70-0 as well. But I'm
No,
not
which
sure
one?
about that
Between Dolphins or Para? Which one? Or Cab Warriors?
I want to see Warriors die the most. Yeah, for sure. They're getting annoying. All right. Thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Like, comment, subscribe. You tell us where you agree and disagree with us this round.
Obviously
Will there be a
Warriors.
bunch of underdogs winning outright? Will there be more covering and losing for no reason? Or will the favourites stomp on the floor and stomp these bum teams into the ground? You will have to tune in on the review to see how we go as the Back Yourself podcast. Signing off. Hussein, Christopher, chat to you guys
Peace.
in about 5 days' time. Enjoy the footy.
Down the
Gamble
wires.
irresponsibly. Fuck you, wise.